0.7 Asempa FM so ne Ekosiisen dwumadie na wasugu so a otie no ma yenna munyina ase na afei yentoa yenkomo no eso monhya ne nso ema yen make say chairman Kojo Boateng ewa ha honorable Kojo Edu Asare wa ha na chairman Alote Jacobs enso ewa ha ntimpanyifo ni ene won edi enkomo on a Wednesday afternoon Ekosiisen live in the monhya ne nso ewo dwumadie eso Chairman Alote ma member hona yen sha say I mean for the whole of the week the trending issues no achimotans sema record ho the issues in parliament now budget approved in parliament and all of that yeah tesanya me adomo a wochena and finance minister designate Verten no baso and matters are me pede de chance na yente
yo momentin kana menche wete funya azuku bi da makwado.
Okay,
that has to do with get fund.
Get fund,
yes, and then pay can be there. There are so many abandoned get fund projects in all the secondary schools, government assisted schools in this country. Yes, because of them gold track, yellow track, green track, and NT. There was the need for government to construct extra structures to accommodate students in their classrooms and dormitories. But there are a lot of get fund projects way back still was in room in various secondary schools. My appeal to the Minister of Education in there, Sabita Frache Abana Bokau, in financing some of these projects. But the non-ability of payment for certificates. Until a lot of contractors have abandoned those projects. Now it will be useful for government and Mother Ghana. The main programs in here, the main of structures in here, Wobutumune were reviving. Now we complete these projects. It will help so much. And see, more yama government payment of these contracts on go waste. And see, so you know, beya Dr. Educhum. Educhum.
Yes.
May you be saying there. The Get Fund Secretariat should not award new projects for the next 2 years.
Until the old ones are completed.
It will help us a lot. Mukandamia. In the last week, Mukacho there, one for one platform, one for an investigation about property at the
Ghana Airport Company in America.
Ghana Airport Company will go to JL Properties, 22 houses. No uncompleted. 22 houses. In this era of our democracy, yeah, advanced, yeah, but far, where people take laws into their hands. Mr. One year investigations, but we should put a stop to it. There, a man who with this one, when there are laws governing this country. There, unless it is by court order, people don't take the law into their hands.
Investigations, what we can see on authority, the JL Properties, no, order one lawyer to sue the Ghana Airport Company. So plans are far advanced in that direction.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
Ekosiisen.
I've spoken with the law firm, lead partner for the firm, and it's also confirmed they will be sued. They are preparing to sue the
nice
Ghana
one. But Ghana Airport Company, when you pass all na utumuka na mazi
Ghana Airport Company will school.
When you scar bail out on obebe fi koku ofori esiama. I know he's a nice guy, you know. One of the nicest guys you can get in Ghana. Gogu ofori esiama. He have been
Transport Minister.
Yeah, sure. on the female agency.
Yeah, so no.
I mean, whether you are MPP, you are a dual party or other party, I will always support you because you are from my region. But then the media topic I was saying, I could hear heavily loaded. Dominic.
And Pachimota and Samina.
Nachimota and Semi. Baby.
Yes.
Confunyini ba. And then in the bar. Tigali in the bar. Now we own the bar. Na wa admitting wa Wesley Girls High School. How will you picture
Ekosiisen on Asempa.
I mean, I'm not against Rastafelian as your go school and you come but Jale. Nina Missy only there. Free SHS has brought on board all Ghanaian or the Ghanaian society. Obiala Nizi Pede Neba Oko school free. Or Confuny Neba or Pede Oko school free. Everybody will want to taste the free SHS. And the Ebone wow unload people hitherto you don't expect them to be pursuing education.
Yeah.
And see, I get some say what's there secondary school fear Kobna Jawu are common no school. I will jabusina now at the showun no school. That is what we are seeing. And see, the free SHS is unloading thousands of people on board from all manner of our society to be part of the educational sector and to be well educated. And see, now you are seeing that the free SHS is getting to a converging point. Sometimes no there rights, freedom of rights and whatever. The stakeholders, GES, Ministry of Education, stakeholders in the educational sector. What do we do in view of them Rastafelian here? When you know call Achimota Fusa one penny. What do we do? I don't know name is here be there. Maybe the Ministry of Education or that what so Okofa Noche secondary technical. Na a confine ni sifu wamba. Wobotumu alcohol. Because one thing we should take note of only there. Yamba
Asempa
in Ghana here, peer pressure tends to bring alien culture, tends to bring alien behavior into our various houses. We shouldn't run away from that fact.
Ekosiisen
There, unless a child has that willpower to sway himself away from peer pressure. Otherwise, no more than a go brother for baby. Go blue thing in the bar. Wamba was actually see no was a bold. I will teach you. And the one brother for school. It is like he had copied the white man's way of life. And the obi kobru obi niba na akayasam. Na Rastafelians he had been catching and Rastafelians one movie. And the Rastafelians who be school na week and anwa. The esho gusu in the wima. Ebia no ube gosu ya. Na uba niti ya no wa abodam in the city na ojedo no Rastafari wa be natural. Oh, do you? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Asempa
And then okay. What's a while for convenient bay? Now convenient bay. So you know papa for the first time of school. No boarding. No on you know papa convenient. No abrafu zechi. No papa no go do school. abakede school for bed yo the properties
Asempa FM.
Dominic Benjamin.
All right.
As I say, yes, we'll make fun of this, but one day it will be real and boomerang in our faces.
Yeah.
Indeed, let us define the role of the child again. In the case of admissions, indeed, Rastafari, because anymore. Yeah, and the people will get your Kwame Sifaka. Mr. Kwame, more don't know say new school. Me pion kwasiazi ye. Keke just for fun. Nti mo shada mo koto bodemewu. Ehun.
Yeah.
Medomewu.
Yeah.
Ties Anderson.
Yeah.
Na me the stock in Sashase. Fridays susu ye ko prayers. Yeah, Methodist school.
Okay.
Na ma twana ma assembly. Wo preaching azin. Na yeah. Religious teacher or friend, Mr. Impri. No, yeah, catechist
on Asempa FM.
BB Bruce Memorial Church war Adabaka. And the Michadan and Mrs. Stockinsy, Murabang. No, well, if you me, but the moon, white socks, no Stockinsy chassis. Bravo, Burma. But just for fun. It came to a point there. Who's I mean, you want them?
Yeah.
Minyo kwa ye fi man probi ye ko dogo no so ye fa adempo ye go pui Katamanto ye to cross the bar Liberty offended commercial bank ne na so ye to go dogo no. You know what happened? Yeah, we became a team. Me e sha yin gbedemewu until Fridays in ne ya for opera I was talking kaka ya she ye na say ye show ne she ya chaboti akakaka me yedu gate na no inya ya shempo. Look, peer pressure ne maybe one in the school obogo go do baby na ebia wo ye won achimota pomu Anglican school
Achimota
non-denominational but
okay.
If you look at the British system now, not there, they are more tilted to Anglican as
yeah.
And one war ye chapel or bonzimna and the Kasuti as you was ne everyone in the Rastafelianism you were back. Obey us a moon. One Rastafelian can breed almost about 20 Rastafelians. Ne dreadlocks you go cheap, you know what was hima. Then Jenna I ask some. Look, it's serious. But then you don't have to trample on the freedom and rights of the child.
Yeah.
At a certain age, you need to teleguide the child. Based on that, in your admission, there's attached to it the rules governing your coming into that school.
Yeah.
To the extent there, Atero Odeshe, Mpogo Odeshe, Sundays in Odeshe, and classes in Odeshe. But one will say there that is the colonial system. Yes, it's the colonial system. But one giant there, Yemfra Kente, Yemfra in school at the top in your Kente, Nasin as soon as you kaki. But then at this modern age, we need to redefine ourselves. Look, that's what is worrying this country. Our identity has become a problem.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
And that's where people buy into Bob Marley's sayings. The mental slavery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have we identified ourselves as Ghanaians? The South African. Nelson Mandela became the epitome of their emancipation to the extent that everything is about Nelson Mandela.
In identifying ourselves, dreadlocks, your natural hair. That is
natural
African.
Hair. Yeah. Mopacho. There are three types of dreadlocks. One dreadlock in Abodama for so many years. Wait if you now wire dreadlocks. No, it's a fact.
Yeah.
And it was
true.
The second one has to do with the American natural dreadlock. In canon, you are maybe in there. Abefe baby what's a motia for one.
Obaba
na niti aye Dreadlocks. Mpesa. Only your friend in Mpesa. Naturally. But you see, when you read through the Bible, Moses, no a dreadlock, or Mpesa.
Nazarene for now.
Yeah, Nazarene, the sages, the Essenes. Ye are people who specially were created by God, like Elijah, like Elisha. One is quite different, like David. There, David needs to say me. I was there. Ninyo anubozi papa na mami na aka fa papa bi nti na nitiwi oye mboza nti. Nti there are people specially created like Samson for a certain purpose. Nti the man in Africa, I'm definitely sure they will confirm not you no dreadlocks. But me, my personal belief in the Okonfanoche was not Okonfo. He was a scientist. But you see him as Okonfo because that period of time to conjure even a golden stool. Eko nukromu wo awukugwa wetum na wedua or the abianun kon achefom na nwi owoso ni roots. Budding in the the Ekosiisen any other seedling. Oh yeah, Azana white man and Gaza Africa. But you see, because of the wonders that he was performing, and the before and Ian cannot I can't phone washer was or your comfort magician. And see, it has come to a point. Let us sit down there. Ghana say, "Inya samuba ye." Emunde yenyo ju konkonsan. Konkonsan yenke kebi ne ye wadi entia. Yoso mate. What's it that? Oye dan. Ya embona ebia fuck up public. Interview the public. One go random as the
Vox
interview na neke kan wona as. Yeah. Ebunde it will be a different story altogether. Or mobia mobaka. But Sebita Frache, your education is Wokruma.
Okay.
Your lawyers Wokruma. Your moral teachers Wokruma. Let us sit down as a country. You have your message there.
And be clear on
the free SHS has brought on board. Una Chenkano young being there Woboko school. But because of free SHS. Okay. Look, when you come to Cape Coast,
finally.
When you come to Cape Coast, admissions, Mafama will feed the remotest part of Northern region. Boko I decided Boko fancy be well, that might be the workings of the government in ensuring there. Also, wafatade word or warban fancy them, wafatade word or Wesley Girls High School. And see, they are also going to face new challenges.
Yeah.
We need to help them because it is the brains that we need. And see, must say there. I mean, they on go see you by next week in Nebune.
Mate.
Honorable
Eduasare.
Yes, sir.
How do we deal with this problem as a country?
Oh, Obi, Michia T4, even though you shared that Akasaka. Before I met Shassi, maybe I looked at semi coffee, maintenance here.
Dear him,
say because of free SHS and like a conform banning other echo, please. That one I don't agree.
Okay.
Only made the post to be to Facebook. Just I think 2 days ago or so. One of the people who came and commented on it, it was about Achimota issue. Yeah. One of the people who came and commented, ni blafo umaitu, meaning so nimna.
Ni ade no ye PRO or AMA na.
Exactly.
Okay.
Obe commenting wo me yi no so. Post na me yeah no so. Me say what I said was that it looks like social media. I'm a nipa bibri voice. And a drown common sense. Na anche bia ebia. Soja for So we can say because of culture and uniform no crowd shape you. That's where we are driving the levels of absurdities in this country. Say and where ansisi nkonya say na loteka ya no and dream near maybe 1 year we will get to that point. And all back I say or no Okowachi Motor School. I need black phone. Okowachi Motor School. But at the time no na onyanye wulumo.
Okay.
But what you say? But an heir apparent kind of. But now enya. Inti the same way. Water region. Most of the owners of the shrines, and I say more shrines now, no. Most of them are educated. Ukona ko bisa shrine no honsem. Some of them are your documentaries. Abrofu you call hona. Omo ko bisa nwasem. Sabi they don't speak ever to them. Omo ka brofu. Obi ko university ewie ni the keka account. So it didn't start today. And you free SHS the mark on for back school. Please. Memfa wanu ntuma asem. Tutu nsem gu masum jani aye no. Intino free SHS no. Yes. It abua. Sabi ehiafo ba. Emma anka otherwise they would have paid money. I'm not so sure say sabi obia oye konfobia ye hiani. If I show to say Intino, I think, sir, for me, I disagree on that score.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 2.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Yenina, who say Constitution, no, and then the guide, yenina. Meaning, so I'm sure, sir, in the last 3-4 days, Article 14, ya kaina. Na bibi wom. Anka bibi bini hanka okanya
14(1)(e). The Ekase Obia will right to enjoy the liberties.
Yes.
And Obia ni who kwans obeju liberties except in some circumstances.
Now some circumstances a certain a for some subsidiary legislation.
Yeah.
A guide.
Yeah.
Whichever institution will come as a child. And as a minor or less than 18 years. So I think that is the part as I say ye kinkai na beyond the article what that point, you know, there is a space for a subsidiary legislation, say some being guided sa institution na o kono na o konso asa niema na guide sa institution no kodiso. So why are we arguing like this?
Ekosiisen on
Say,
Asempa FM.
School no say. Yenji dreadlock. Yenina yen shed uniform. But your uniform ye den.
And school uniform. School attire. Attire.
Attire.
Uniform.
But your kasaye ti brofono.
No, what's it?
Uniform ye den. What does it mean?
Okay, uniform is common, something common amongst the
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ananewa. It's yen appear in our uniforms.
Yes.
And your school attire no na uniform. Mpaboa ka ho. Wo socks ka ho. Wo your friend saying
Or hairstyle.
Hairstyle ka ho. It's no. As I say nyina ye pie na obi hu ya. Otumi ka say alote ye atimota student. Upon who no ko hu obi. As I so to me identify say sa atade we a wo shedding the way a who appear no. Who free Accra Academy.
No,
that's me the example. What would I make channel?
Yes.
Iti aye wo appearance. Head to toe, and identify who as a student of school X or school Y. I mean, you see, social media. academy for about oh yeah the dreadlock for Ubisha uniform, blah blah blah. Fine. But that's what I say yes the yenji. Not because yenji akola no. Ya man admission. So people should not misconstrue this whole thing, say, because of the Rasta and T. You say yeah man admission. He's been admitted. Anambwa. And almost say it does not conform to almost school rules. And ayakwakofa abrofo pictures. Achimota. To come and weaken the argument the more. Because you see, I've been prayed just. When we were growing up, Broni Babia Ubehunu, even Chobi, now Yadima, Yatutoma and Kola did agro. Now Mutri need to say. No mutsam call a baby Chobi na Yatutoma and Kola did agro, Baby doll nini kikaka. How was their hair? And I hear Babeka say, Abrofumba and Muti because Ghanaians, Muti. Honestly, I think we are losing something. Broni biaba unim say mitrini ewa. Some of them decide on their own rather to crop. But 99.999% of all whites keep long hair. And that is their identity. And it is also because of our weather pattern. It is a 1 or 2 be decided to obey the tier. Like obeying the 3 million. It doesn't represent our identity to the extent say Yansu Yabekas Ebe Jina so the argument. And I say because Yankola Brim, some of our big sisters.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
No mo boti the school. Ya de ahoma. And ahoma ahoma ye de at the school. But edu baby na ejie. Any kruka. The schools were spending so much money to deal with bed bugs and lice. So one of the reasons are low haircuts, no, almost standard was to deal with situation. Because I can't say infest now. Yeah. Infested school now. As I said, time you spray. Because people are coming from different homes. Obi eji krada. So about school, obi coffee no the big call. And it was as the same parents who complained. And I say, low haircut, even for the ladies. Say the be betimi a controlling management no be easier. Because uboti na ye dada time. Sunday, I see a year and you need to go back and tighten it up. Oh, boarding house, Ubeda Kofie, Aquaco, Sanuti, Asa Bon Fufro, and India Kika. The management of it was intinomi pam profocho. 3 years. We have brought your resident lawyers, doctors, judges who went to school, your teacher, Mutisa. Today, they are not wearing short hair. Ibia decided to keep short hair, even as a style of So that 3 years. Now, Oba Eco School. Now you see, this is the rule. And so we have to challenge a whole system to budge. Please, for me, I think, sir, we are overstretching issues. We are overstretching issues. Because maybe a minor do Yama some discipline be be taking over. Social media will drown this country. Because we'll be in your voice. And the moment the issue goes viral,
Now at
the pressure buying any other. So, but please, nobody should fall for some kind of pressure all the time.
Ekosiisen on Asempa
But for things like this, preserve your society. Broni on the culture. Bibini on the culture. Yeah, you know, so every school has its culture. And now, don't also forget, say, schools here, yeah, can bebre before Omobeye, you know, sorry. School.
Yeah, mission school.
Mission school. I buying a letter, or decided, say,
me take over. Yeah.
Na mabuamo. But they did the churches did not lose entirely their hold on those schools. Omo was say the Presbyterian Church still has a say in the management of the school. St. Augustine's St. Rosie's I'm sure say the same applies to almost Catholic schools. Anglican schools, the same. Because the reason for setting up those schools was also to bring some moral, a friend is saying, into our youth from Omonkola Bremu. So why? I agree with him. If the Rastafarians want to set up their own school, so that right from the onset, from KG to primary to whatever, they can allow for Omo cultures to be upheld. I think they should be thinking along those lines by now.
But Obibeka say if we agree, said the okay, and say growing up, no, abrofo ma muhu omunyina no omunyina our long hair. If we are to stretch that argument, Rastafarian be also be decided to obey dreads. Some say a part of the identity. That's the hair. We jai and ama afu. It is a won't mean compare you bruni man in Canada because naturally no more long hair. Why do you compare men who are naturally major long hair as mean Canada?
You see, Obi, you see, you are trying to push this whole argument into absurdity.
I didn't hear.
What I say? You are going to tell me, say, Oko, like because Bruni naturally has that. It's a choice that you made. Bruni no, minkaso or yechen ganeni, but omokrano, there are rules. Say obutini ne say omuchichiri.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Emetiko say na beya omone pictures now no. The pictures we saw. Did you see them in a classroom? Say omuti class a teacher lecturer one day. These were pictures they took outside of classroom activity. And that's how come who doesn't do that? Yankola ya omuko school ye try muti awansa omuko school. Omu free school but then omo ye. When they come home on holidays, what do they do to their hair? Most of them. Ebo muti. Because that is a natural thing for every woman.
Okay.
But school no say for who sake because it has to be managed. As I said, you cannot keep Rasta for 3 months. What am I saying? You must attend to it in a certain way. Sometimes a bit me it into curriculum activity.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Why would me now a good tissue? Starting my problem. A bit me ma a dear crowd museum. And I'm sure say it is on that basis. And as our uniformity was reached. And for me Mijidi say we should let the students themselves survey among the students themselves. Yen penifo yen tranchen na yen bisa school for nankasa say then no mupe.
They are not yet 18. They cannot make such decisions.
No, and I make because it's and I say I am very sure said they themselves will opt for
For the uniformity.
For the uniformity. It be definitely it be bad with all kinds of things, but I can tell you majority. Because one can sound what it takes to keep your hair. You know it.
Okay.
So that is the point. Me if you say, oh Ghana ha as me as papa bia kantino. Bibia ba and like again I wanted to say social media na issue way a blow up. Because me sure said this boy
Ekosiisen
is the first person now. Yeah, wako school so compare ya ka tell say masa this o chauti utri no egu. But because of social media and
it has become an issue now.
I a big deal. But hey, for me I think say papa no
the school should stand their ground.
No on shena on yi omutino na omunkunko school. You see, and what I don't like about this whole thing is and I said, then I'll prefer not to do this. Some bravado be with his statement. I don't know whether it's coming from them, but that is how it has been. How it has been attributed. Say, person met na fear than to say yebema me tramiti. Masa. Who gives a toss?
Any choice.
Who gives a toss? Who passes out traffic, please? Adra Safo.
Yes.
She was home tutored.
Homeschooling.
And an LDI lawyer. So if you want to also follow in her tracks, God bless you.
Chairman Kojo Boateng Bebem. In the early 70s, there was the funny heated debate against admission of Indian Sikhs into the British Met Police because of their religious turban, similar to the ongoing raging Rastafelian discussion in our public school enrollment. The Sikh turban argument succeeded, and now you see the Sikh Met Police officers wearing their turban in the course of duty. If the British that we copy from and even maintain their obsolete works for our lawyers and judges can accept the Sikh turban for no less than their regimented police force, why can't we do same in GES public schools? Nana Ano Ami here, the second, or say custodian of our bastardized ancestral culture and way of worshipping our God. He continues to say, by the way, are Europeans and Indians, particularly Sikh, admitted to Achimota school, would they also be compelled to cut their hair short? I see. White girls at Achimota school with shoulder-length hair. How about that? We are frightened of our own black hair dreadlocks, but we cherish the beautiful, albeit obsolete blonde hair of our lawyers and judges in court. Nana Ano Ami here, the second.
To cut you short. Enjoying him the dreadlocks in the Brazilian.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Are you aware of that?
Yeah. So only artificial ones.
On the dreadlocks and
but natural one. The egg and the
yeah.
And you be good.
Yeah.
But you won't go or your phone Samantha. In a traditionally, your ma won't me. Mammy, the meaning of me good. And the over Samantha, Chade of Samampo, Nawaba. These are natural hair, but normally in your hand or a rigged hair.
Yeah.
See, you can say there, British and then the European hair. And then Caucasian, or use the word Caucasian.
Now, Obi, when who Rasta Yasha said that?
Yasha says saying
new, like yeah, started before.
No.
But a year now, usually they have to cover it with a certain hat. What I say, I'm gonna be cover at that stage. That's the question you should ask. Satana nyini mfu you. Afi na washa here. So they cover it. What had I channel? Because so who say obi a started Rasta now uncover so at the same person. What I say?
I doff my heart for Kojo Edward Sare. His submission on the Rasta issue is excellent. I wish he does same on other national issues. He's a top guy. Nana Odro Safo and on the way Abba. There's one here from Kojo Yabu or Manchester. Obi, so Edward Sari want to tell us that Caucasians are above the laws. Edward Sari doesn't know what he's talking about. Kojo Yabu in Manchester and or the way Abra. Chairman Kojo Boateng, Yentiewe na also position on this issue.
Asem we nkame kra ka hu hia so meka bi.
And said anya asem bia sa.
Oh, for the chairman ne Kwadwo aka wa hai. Can say can meka bi because I think say asem na ye entertaining no dodo. Ya money media space. And na so koto say papa na nkasa kra no. Asem no de buy ye ka say enka onko radio station to radio station kra me nyi bi say ka de mo ya ma no. Ka by this time enka wenya that publicity. What you say? But me, the Hamika Kran say, Obi, and our leaders, and around the world,
Ekosiisen on
you realize how indiscipline is changing our life. Inti say, Akwala already 14. I presume he's around that age.
But I 14, but I is 16, I think.
Say, young penny for trans, who say, young Kasa bit me take a decision for ourselves, and it be a moment age bracket be. If America for uncle, say I can't wait to be 18. So I say, so the 18 I was the right. Or so in person pesa or yeah, but that time in the parents you say or university. At least you are in a different era. One of my professor at American University catch him say Oba 1 to 18, you are a manager. You take a decision because your child is at your home. But of free 18 kon you are advisor. So what you say? Because of person or yet your person. But to be me advice because we are penny you know sabi.
Yeah.
Obi anya penny da but akwala de obi aye bi da. So for me edna baby aye gina eni komo aye di. If ebia baby am te chairman say na mega so ebia it doesn't mean say all ka say Rastafelian no ebia in free education ni ayinti. But the what he's trying to imply is that because of free education, there's restrictions. So what I say, once there's a restrictions, it doesn't your belief doesn't change the restrictions at all. To open free education, there, you must abide by the rules and the regulations. To me, any big deal. Any big deal. Yeah, so. Your brilliant interview with the lawyer. But say.
Ras Wayo.
I say, what the first say, I say, any morality as some but you are talking about the law. But have you forgotten? It's the law that established the schools. So you see, and then I first say, Nimidiane diya kweni muama obi. Akodu baby, if we have our way, they will reverse it. Even ask me why. Even those Americans today, and the baby omoti that time, oko schools. Yeah, the Jesus aboho you see a bonfire and Sunday you starting because of this belief. Yes, so yen tonchuni because obi ohonuma he doesn't believe Jesus
so
here.
No bonfire American school.
And then unim problem akofa brom. Eno na elidiama ene eniema yam pesa yeti. Ye ka oba ne be masema ene minu mienu ye betena ha ne pesa yeti ho asem. But the common sense has to teach us say you can't change it. Assuming there be our last 2 weeks, as NBC meeting, me say na me no kwajo kan. There me be some honey say, "Sir, a mema say me a yekin. Obema so be worry bema, kai bia ye kasi any problem. But sir bema na okofa ne yonko bema no, no catch bema ba ko say, onye oba. Na abi enye bodamsem. Nyankopon ayo oba na si ho de also umpe. But walk of one young Bema, you are telling Bema to say, on your bar.
Oh, Bema.
Now we are your bar. Into what are we trying to imply? Into your higher who saw near my winning now. Say, a idea, your chinny pana drink cosso. Say, somewhere okay. Oh, God, the Bema's on your bar, Nanyadi. Obey me, I'm be that. So it is not an argument. Obi, share. Ebi I can't. What to say? Kofa Ghana ni bi buy. Say bi ebe catch us. So Ghana ni ba na kwajo do asare baba ye no. The thing you go nechi, but or exception anti amana ntwani trimi. That is not the case. Also me hu India ni bi. Other na rules. Other na about money renity. How many of them in that school? And how many of the students are Ghana for about 99.9%? You bet me I catch us a copy say Indian in Ibano. Because you won't have access to do that. And only because naturally that is what it is. Oh, it say ya be boa obi any money be back and see discuss. For me. The papa so kochi manso, I don't kochi manso.
But about minority rights, they are in the minority. Into issues about them should concern
Obi. Now they are not two now say
in
on
interest
pen.
of inclusiveness.
Obi, they are not so two say on pen. On the new right in Biana. Oh no, maybe it is good. Even the church. I make a note here. Kwajo kan na echimaji baby so. Obi. Asori nankasa yetimu no. Asori no kra na wo say your choice no.
Yeah.
We so can say believe in your rights ni ade nyina. Asori ko rules ni mana. Say Pentecost for catch us oh babu katatrini.
Yeah.
And then now can say Pentecost for say listen. Asori na ya me right say me ba sorry because all their religion no kra there. Ye chow bibia free. Correction yet to no cry and you tax wo ho. Yen ye di esike betum. Ade na aka tell me say me nkata mitrisho. Huh? Enya say bia religion na believe na o kan. Restrictions are sorry ne dia to. If you are coming to follow untumi a my friend praise be your
What baby afa?
It is an school nit here. Okoya ye catch you say listen. Ade no say na rules nit here. Okwa follow. Obi some people think they live in the developed countries and they can test everything in our land. Sure, but can be been true. Even go to those American schools are almost the democracy, almost religion bibiasi. And Kolan go school almost uniform na.
Yeah, almost uniform.
And Kolan go school almost uniform. Na adenti na no parents na decide say okoye no, okoye say rules or hundi or so follow. Because that is the rules. Umpa, o de fa bako baby a. Ofo say o wasunbejo. Homeschool. Ewo.
The mialo te kre ka say ono ne papa onya mfantepem no. Also my father went to Infantepem and collected a prospectus before I went to Form 1. We followed the rules strictly. So why didn't the parent of this boy go to the school and find out the rules before taking his son to the school? It is like ono di kan koi. Ekokoji rules ni bibi anka ehia mpo so de ne ba ne be den.
Any argument for ma. Almost say enyo no na select school no na. It was round
yeah, computer. But he chose the
exactly. And America say
yes.
Obi and so say so. Na me indiscipline e ya dos do.
Asempa FM.
And so the kwajo social media are changing your life. And ne utie emranti argument a omu ye nyina ya. Obi. Say first power so be Rastafelian and now be Rasta. Ebia it is now me if that Obi Rastafelian or ye brilliant when you're 6. Now when you're 6 and I know just oh yeah Rasta oh yeah exceptional out of the for the what you say? So but akwala na okotena school hon the influence ebenya e wa akwala bia some innocent child no you don't even know
na so on here say obe jai dread na when your influence obi so
debiti so no na for na
St. John's na dread be anyhow boys ni be by pressure for
Obi have you studied the statistics be a free Japan buy telling us say celebrities wo we say influencer one crossover
celebrity endorsements and the companies try a lot for
thank you
celebrity endorsement.
Thank you. Ofu said dientia. Catch me. Ofu sa parents no the penny say na ne bag girl namu na we yi ne hu nyina na yi nkwa no de nam. Ofu say sa na ma me wo no. But because of the celebrity, the influence, ono kura we bru 18, he couldn't apply his own ethical values to say ade na nye. That work of Akola we di 14 18. Now we be catch and say, a religious right, a belief, a brand. The brand doesn't change the rules. The brand doesn't change the law. So a idea yen na ye tia says Obi. She ye kwa. Unim said yet.
But Chairman Unim.
I am
Unim say you've been in the US for a long time. Obia sending me the story of Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges in 1960 was 6 years old and the only black child in an all-white school that had been marked for desegregation. On her first day of school, she had to be escorted to school by law enforcement officers through a raging sea of angry protesters screaming racial slurs. A placard even read, "All I want for Christmas is a clean white school." Another day, one person had a black doll in a coffin. Many people pulled out their children from the school, and teachers refused to teach in a class that had a black child. In her first year of school, she was the only person in her class. So the point is, a child was hounded because of her skin color in her quest for education. You may say it was a long time ago, but in 2021, we are on social media debating the right of a child to be educated because of his natural hair as part of his body. As a part of his body doesn't conform to school rules.
Yeah. What didn't we do in this country? What didn't we and black people? What didn't we do here? Please, young guys are hypocrisy.
No, but the point is, this is one person. She changed the course of history.
But is it the same?
Because of the CEO.
No, is it the same?
Not the same thing.
Minority
right.
Oh, minority right, no Rastafarian. Any of some of you catch it.
Me say yes, for China new hidden. Then I got
you are talking about the human race. Say yeah, catch us or the senior ya wono. We are not giving the description. Say Yanka say okay, man who black. Now the laws are saying say black with me about school maybe. And you are talking about such a certain indiscipline about hair. Say you say yeah, but you try it at a certain level. The entire make said this test doesn't sit right on what we are discussing. Me say, and your rules are set out over here. Me Ghana. Now my last born was about what 3 years. Because as a father, I'm using myself as a typical example. Because as a father, me nifientino. Now the system that is in that country that I left. So Baba ko public school. No be shata di opebiantino. Obi. Bikumi mo journey from 2005. Decided to send me in Kualano a private school where they wear uniform. Where they will prescribe it to you. Say, oh, boy, oh, this is the shoe I bet me the about school, huh? And ask everybody in America. So be all called private school. You catch your plane because that time Robbie was sick. I'll tell you sick. Bill Gates, but who been yeah, man, come my uncle shut to say the one said chair TV because no private me at all. Yeah, my uncle told
I know a private school.
So that is the rule.
We are talking a public school. Teachers in there are paid with public taxes.
Public school, maybe. So what I'm trying to tell you, say, the fact that say, oh, can say private and public, I am trying to tell you, say, every system be out with the rules and the regulations. Or my muha, do you want to tell me, say, because of a buy what she say? Even a child take us a free education. I say, okay, I buy me to account as a free education. Then no free now can be about on such a level. Mimpe shoe be a mimpe moka mimpe Michael Jordan shoe be a. So what say? Open so buy a Rastafarian. Ko you do answer school and do accept it. You could be a cocoa to an affair back. What is wrong with that? Because you are saying say a taxpayers' money into the engine system no any day and say
the tester continues to say, sir, NTO. I say we are talking of a public school, one that is funded by public taxes. Ruby Bridges' skin color did not conform to school rules at the time. If these were the times, what would we have suggested? That she bleaches to white skin or just goes to an all-black school where she won't be breaking any school rules? Just like the Nagrad president is suggesting that we build Rastafarian schools. Fortunately, Ruby and her parents persisted. She had support from people who looked like her, and even those who didn't. She graduated from the school, went on to pursue a career, raised her family, and is now a lifelong activist for racial equality. And Kamala Harris
Obi.
It's a black
the
vice president.
oh yeah, and I had to say the Jesus baby as a son. I think I'm saying Rastafarian something, so don't continue on that particular.
That's the principle is the same.
It's a Hannah Dream. There may be some catch on and say, do you know that black, he was fighting for the rights of the black as a human being. Said the Jesus by so Baba G. He died for a certain officer, and I hear to say you cry the Jesus be. What you say? So that is what actually happened.
People who look like me are being discriminated against, and I want to be the first person. I'll resist and break this thing. Now, say me a dreader. I should have access to education.
Okay, I had to say the survey in Kuala for a man member SMB. Now, what is the difference? Huh? What is the difference? I come on, who argue for Rastafarian that everybody says. We are not saying say Adiana Omuyeno. When you get to a certain right, who do a certain age now, we don't have a problem with that. Then you are taking a decision for yourself. But what we are trying to say is, and yet at the child of 14 to 18, and now person implement this measures. Otherwise, you need any problem here.
Okay, I get you. The difference from Ruby Dienese in this case, no, the guy is not being eternally stopped from doing Rasta. 3 years now, was school. No, you say
yes, man.
Chicha. After that, you can.
Oh, the person you be able to me. Hey, not time I can be Titino. Me time I the first time I me who Rasta. Ewaha. Eyo konfufie obia okom na ye den kwala akọ say otete o makom that time na do who say no watwa mpese so what you say so it was giving a certain brand and you will believe say that kwala no crying that society no usoro kra so bebe no it is a to be na se pani bi edu baabi wabọ the brave wi a wire rasta on ama and kwala no cry yenso at the middle age na face pani no ebia na adwen enyadwuma. Now, but I'm for biti osuha. Who say what Rasta now, Bapa? Who was a Rastafarian? Now, could be on why the Rasta no wife and I say, or Koala or so. I say Rastafarian. Or so free or cocas in any abodam. So I say, the impression about that particular hair no crown. Obi, I something else. Oh, ko worry, eh? There be a first impression.
It counts a lot.
Obia or tea office. Na ebia cratch near P. No bonity. Mekaya have menka developed countries. No dear sum. Now is our born or was sum near dear. No matter how brilliant you are, how smart you are. The first impression of Benyama. You were one school. Or be catch say, ni team crown or force abia. The team must have a said, I couldn't be told you, Uncle Chid, I didn't queen in our Hana. The opportunity that you're supposed to get, Obi, Namia and Yawadum, you'll be denied. So I say, it's your in principle. Any abraboni morality and now crash and say anymore. How could you take morality out of life? And a moment law no crime we see and we have morality free.
On a simple
Asomna here can be. It's a very simple thing.
Okay.
School now setting the rules. Untumia yuba kotre na die wo fie mane moniti o wi a de person ye bia. Na bisa ko jodo asare say oti krom he. When pa na obegina MP. Say o say public domain. Na wa boniti na obeka to say beto abama.
Sa na moye ya na Raswayo. Obe graduated from the law school na also koyi Rasta egui.
Does it stand? That doesn't stand. Say, now when they did the case, what say could be? Sure.
The originator of reggae music.
Yeah.
You can't dispute with that. Jimmy Cliff. Jimmy Cliff is not a Rastafarian.
Or a Rastafarian, but unja dreads.
Jimmy Cliff is not a Rastafarian.
Religiously, he is not a Rastafarian.
Mr. Jimmy Cliff, just do your search.
Okay.
He's not a Rastafarian. It is the Whalers.
the whalers walk across Ethiopia. Now, one more the history of Haile Selassie.
Yeah.
And the war between Ethiopia and Italy.
Ekosiisen
There
on
was
Asempa FM.
or dreadlocks, and they were fierce fighters. Or fighting against the Italians. Self-independence. Ninya cook stories. Look, here's a last in Angasan. Yes, if you knew I was silky hair, but into describing as being a Rastafelian.
On your dreadlock.
On your dreadlock, but at least or them kind of silky locks, curly ones, and believing there them whalers groupie into that time. Peter Touch in one leader, Azana Bob Marley took a prominent role when Peter Touch separated himself from the whalers. Now we believe there he's from the descendant of Solomon. And if somebody from descendant of Solomon, no, Damascus locks now. That's where House Rastafarian started. Until they should come and tell us. One hour we just no ogun wechi na ibi o a choka kraka. I mean, I don't dispute that because that is their own as it taste and their belief. But Ninya, how much if one buy is
Them?
Oh.
What about you for gum?
Oh, was the Brazilian week in Hazina? What the Hazina? Why has it? But why? It's a belief. As to how other religions came into being, came out of human beings. And say, well, but let me tell you this. There is this Chinese scientist. Oma, if you are aware, Wawu Abafaba, Asan Abafaba She Yefunumun, he did a lot of things to, modify the human race. Or say the child is a pristine child. In fact, the whole scientists, societies, all we are seeing now, they went against the Chinese scientists. It is against the ethics of their profession. Because they believe the Nyankupon Obo Impa. You can't modify the human being. Do a search and you get to know this.
Okay.
They went against him. As in for why it is also same like COVID. People manufacture things with a belief and with the pharmaceutical wealthy. Look at it, AstraZeneca. Hey, Germany, all the EU was we don't want it. Was there been when you blood clot and the it's all business.
I just stumbled upon a tweet from one Alisa Hills, and it's been shared widely on Facebook. I say my kids, Oyobroni, my kids went to Achimota, and we had to provide a report on why her hair should not be cut. And the man was say, "Brofo." I say they didn't just allow us in there because we were white. Ghanaians are so misinformed. And that's a simple tweet, Alisa Hills. And the tweet. Now the law applies across the, even with the dreads, we are told, say, if you are able to prove medically why you should be allowed to maintain the dreads, why not?
They will give you
Time I was school, there were two scenarios. There was this guy who was my classmate. Obaskua or she trouser. Then our school be a shorts. He alone wore a trouser.
On Asempa
Charlie, Charlie, so one day argument. Emma, he teaches no back home. You coach here on the besides then this guy, I shirt trouser. I said no. I'm Obano. So it was some challenge with the nine as a result of an accident.
Okay.
Scars be near there. So school now at Yasia no mano.
Preferential treatment.
There was another one. And also, Nani Trini no Yamano, a Yamane fool. Because there you trap. no low but ono de no na efu agina ho eno so ebisa ho asem a omo say onya accident na e bi e maska ke sie bi da ni trim nti e mani grow ni trim no na say wanunu e de akofa it is a one bisa de nti a obi she a wig green na wan kire wase a Usu be kwa kunto kwa say open green wig ashe. And I think say
police for enja one about to set media.
Dabi.
So yeah,
untimi.
But there are some few ones
in the police service omutimi sha asomade etimi
because ubehunu na ebia obi or the blade
Ekosiisen
kind of skin
on
obi.
FM.
You may see some bombs near a year.
So and there's a special unit. There's a special unit in the police service. Omoni yemo omo aha omo na yemo omo mingle with
the society and the CID and money be on I said you need to ask rather than ye tia and now when I didn't ye be near ye were broach ye be wo baby I could do obi say ya shey the way the population and ye could do and he said the indiscipline running ebeye kakra ono papa no ebia na ofo se or can right o sika o de be court ni ade wan hwe ya the same oba no ono an do be court no atu afiri fie I'm telling you
but on this matter no I think so mo court na eye to bring finality to this issue once and for all because come what may we would have the discussion again maybe next year or two and once the court the jurisdiction of the court is involved.
You want to test the law.
They should settle this once and for all.
Because
it's been done in Jamaica, it's been done in Kenya. Jamaica, the NCA called High Court. They could do Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled in favor. In the case of Kenya, and so a similar thing happened, the High Court of Kenya, a ruling against the school. They upheld the religious right of the young man. It really agreed with the school. Meaning, say, in the case of Kenya, no, omo call further to be at the Supreme Court. But Jamaica, the end of the day, they went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "Say, the school has."
Let me ask a question, what is the link between dreadlocks and Rastafelianism?
Okay, in the end, Ras Wayo interview now, I asked this question.
Okay,
and he made the point, say. Yes, you can be a Rastafarian without having dreadlocks.
Right.
Into enye like two idea linked, intricately linked. Say, unyaye Rastafarian and Kwadi was unyaye dreadlocks. No, it is not like that.
So
into you can be a Rastafarian without dreads. They say, oh no, Raswa, you say we're trying to dreads,
right?
But he's still a Rastafarian.
Right.
Ras Mubarak, a kind of dreads, but he believes and associates with Rastafarianism.
Right.
I mean, enye by force.
Yeah. So
but any panic choice.
Yes.
Maybe a Rastafarian. Let me choose to say me jai dreads.
Yes.
I see the dread to be part of mine.
So I'm asking this question. This particular case.
Yes.
What are they fighting? Are they fighting for their religious belief? And I say the fact that they want to have their
yes. Ne papa ne say for them no a religious belief and the dreadlocks no a critical part of their religion for them. Absolutely.
And a religion I'm on school.
Period.
I want to school.
Oh, what
is wrong with that?
I know they say a simplistic assembly.
That is where
they pay taxes on minor as the public schools.
Taxes. Try and find a BBI that taxes free.
You know what you tax. I know what you
it's I say more will be almost demonstration. No, we are Choboy. Hey, Choboy, nobody in police station. No more Koba. Choboy, he'll be on Tiasi. You go be somewhere, some microphone or Muchi, we need you. Now, Choboy, no more, you know, some way to police for. I could be going to say, Choboy, when I was microphone inside, no, Etiasi. Says demonstration no etia police for say police for no echi wo mo a omuji omusika dodo and also want to make say we who sit there demonstration.
Oh, I get you.
It is just a choboy hey no what me teach choboy na say police for na say demonstration na say
Any na theater no we theater no
radio because all manner of people are listening to us, and sometimes you don't untimi nka near dawa kuma so because you may poison the atmosphere. But look, Omano, we've come very far. We all know about weed. We know whom people link Omutu. You understand? Today I could can Eliano. Because those days Ubia Rasta Bia, the first thing that comes to your mind. What I say, and whether we like it or not, it is sitting with us. It may be a prejudice. What I say, it may be prejudice.
We should all help in killing our stereotype. No?
I agree with you, but also Anna, your person, in order not to let a minor, somebody will take real intentions. Or they are there. Now I misconstrue to me say he is somehow engaged in BB Etisa. So that you uniform now, me dream BB ma, whom you won't dream for mommy. That is what that stereotype can only be killed when we don't allow anybody to, we don't push them into wrong effect. Because of course, Dreadlocks at the classroom, I can tell you. Answer, me was our classroom now. No,
so maintain. What you say?
What I say? Me no own your piece. In some of my boss were channel, or no never one day. What I say? And there are some of people Crawford be to say me. Do you understand? You better turn to tell daddy this thing I better carry it, man.
In the spirit of our discussion, no, Joseph here, or say Satan Company.